Have you ever stood at the edge of the ocean, not on a busy beach, but somewhere quiet, where the water stretches out to meet the sky and it feels infinite? You feel small, but not in a bad way. You feel connected to something immense, something ancient. That feeling, that specific humbling awe is the reason I do what I do. People see the headlines. Bezos spends billions on rocket ships. Blue Origin's massive investment. And the question always comes, sometimes in a whisper, sometimes in a shout. Why? Why not solve poverty? Fix climate change? Or buy 100 super yachts, throw the most lavish parties the world has ever seen? I understand the question. Truly, I do. But it comes from a fundamental misunderstanding. A short-term view. Today I want to invite you to see it from my perspective, to look up with me. The question isn't, why spend money in space when we have problems on Earth? That assumes it's a zero-sum game, that every dollar spent on a rocket is a dollar stolen from a hungry child. It's an emotional argument, but it's not a logical one. The entire global space industry is a fraction of a single percentage point of the world's economy. We could redirect all of it, and it wouldn't even come close to solving our planet's deepest issues. The problems of hunger, disease, conflict, they aren't funding problems. They are complexity problems. Problems of political will, of logistics, of human nature. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate beautiful things. I own a car or two. Pause. But here's the truth about a $10 million car. It gets you from point A to point B. A $50 million yacht. It gets you across the water. A party. It gives you a night to remember, or perhaps forget. They are endpoints, consumables. They don't build anything for tomorrow. They don't change the fundamental equation for our grandchildren. Spending on them feels, to me, like decorating the stateroom on the Titanic. We live on a beautiful but fragile world. Look at it, a perfect oasis. But it's not a limitless island. We are constrained by resources, by energy, and by time. If we stay here on this one planet, we are putting all of humanity's eggs in one basket. A basket that is vulnerable to asteroids, supervolcanoes, or our own mistakes. This isn't a sci-fi fear. It's a statistical certainty. Given enough time, the unthinkable will happen. So, what do? We don't surrender. We don't hunker down and just try to manage the decline. We build a ladder. We create a future where our great-great-grandchildren don't have to live with that sword of Damocles hanging over them. A future where they can look back and say, they saw the danger and they acted. This is the vision of Blue Origin, a future where millions of people live and work in space, not to escape Earth, but to preserve it, to move all our heavy polluting industry off-world, to turn Earth into a residential zone, a national park, to give this beautiful planet we call home a chance to heal. That is what I'm spending my money on, not on a firework that burns bright and vanishes. I'm investing in the next chapter of human civilization. It's a down payment on a future of abundance, of possibility, of hope. I know it sounds like a dream, but every great achievement begins as one. The transcontinental railroad, the airplane, the internet. They all seemed like fantastical, expensive luxuries to their contemporaries. But they shrank the world. They created untold wealth, connected cultures, and advanced knowledge in ways no one could have predicted. Space is no different. We are at the very beginning. By making access to space routine and affordable, we are building the foundational infrastructure for the next generation of entrepreneurs, the next Steve Jobs or Marie Curie, who will build industries in space that we can't even imagine yet. Pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, energy. all transformed in the zero-gravity, high-vacuum environment of space. This isn't a distraction from Earth's problems. It's the ultimate application of human ingenuity to solve them. It's the opposite of giving up. It's believing with every fiber of our being that the future can be better than the past. So, when you see my rocket on a launch pad, I don't want you to see a billionaire's vanity project. I want you to see a ladder. I want you to see a symbol of a species that refuses to be passive. A species that looks at the stars and sees not a barrier, but a destination. The ocean I'm trying to cross isn't made of water. It's made of vacuum and radiation and unimaginable distance. But we will cross it. Not for me. For us. For all of us. We have a choice. We can either be a civilization of nostalgia, looking back at a golden age that's past, or we can be a civilization of ingenuity and optimism, building a future that is more dynamic, more prosperous, and full of more possibility than we can possibly dream.